Good morning. I became the owner of a brand new walking stick this week. And when I got back to the vicarage, I realised I now have 3 walking sticks. And strange as it might seem, I can only use one at a time. So thinking about those, I was really drawn to the passage in Psalm 139, which is the longest psalm in the Bible. So don't try reading it in 5 minutes. But verses 13 and 14 say, and this is a paraphrase, "You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. All the days of my life are ordained by you." And that got me thinking. So as long as I can remember, or as long as I could remember, which is probably since I was about 3 or 4, my granny was in a wheelchair. She died when I was 16 and she was only 66. So that made me think, I don't feel that I'm anywhere near getting to dead. And next week I'll be 65. So my granny actually, in terms of today, had a very short life. And it also made me think about the quality of our lives. So this is my walking stick I've had for a while. As you can see, it's nice and silvery and it's long. And it gets new bits every now and again, especially from my friend Jo, who gets annoyed when it's not quite right. She's an OT. And it's done me a great service. But when I was knit together in my mother's womb, when I was born, I was as perfect as any other baby. I was born with jaundice, which is quite common, so I was well within a few days. I was born at home. I wasn't even taken to hospital because of the jaundice. And I grew up a reasonably healthy child. Now, the harm that's been done to my body is mostly my fault. I have type 2 diabetes as an effect of overeating, which fortunately now, which I guess I have to take the credit for, is very well under control. But it also made me think about how other people have things wrong with their body. My friend's daughter was born with her intestines on the outside of her body. And I watched Call the Midwife this week, and the same thing happened in that, and that made me think about her. And that wasn't perfect birth, but God was still in it, because he gave surgeons the ability within days of fixing that. You would never guess to meet this little girl. Well, she's not a little girl now, she's a teenager now. You'd never guess to meet her that she had that. So most of us go through illnesses, and most of us at the age I'm now at, my 60s, are looking at bits that are getting, bits that are droopy, bits that are falling off, bits that don't work as well, all sorts of things. But that doesn't stop God from being involved in our lives. So when I got my nice new walking stick on Monday, it meant that I now have 3. So the one I've just showed you is the one that is just my common everyday walking stick, as one has. This was my second one, and this one I have because it was my mum's walking stick. My mum died last year, but my sisters, who'd seen me in the garden, said I actually needed one that I kept by the back door. So my sister Morag insists I have this one, and I do. I keep it by the back door, so when I'm in the garden, I've got a walking stick there and I don't have to traipse to the front door to find it. But it helps me. It's just a support. And when Moses came down the mountain, he was so exhausted. They had to hold his arms up so that he could lift the tablet to show them. So he needed support. We all need support. We need it for all sorts of things. The last 2 years, we've all become very used to the idea of talking about our mental health. And that's been very freeing for so many people. And people who might before never have talked about it are talking about it. And I think that's part of God's plan. The days of our life are ordained for us. He wants us to be supporting each other. So this is my very special new walking stick. You will see it is white. So I've been registered severely visually impaired for the last 6 years. And I've always had to use a walking stick, but they couldn't get me a walking stick that was white. And so people would see that I couldn't see very well when I was out. I used it on Monday and I saw the difference in people's behaviour. So they gave me a little bit more space when I was walking around. Someone actually asked me if I needed help to get across the road and then saw that my sister was there. Someone asked me as I was walking the dog around the park, and he's a huge dog, if I could manage okay. And then again, they saw that my sister was beside me, and actually the dog is a big wuss, and he's perfectly well trained. What my new walking stick does is it shows people that I have a disability other than needing a walking stick that I can't actually see. Here's the truth, I'm getting a new one very soon because I've really bad arthritis in my hands, and holding a walking stick gets quite hard after a while. So they're getting me a new one with a new handle so that it will be white so people can see I'm blind, or I'm registered blind. I've got some vision. It will be perfectly shaped so it won't hurt my hands so much when I'm walking. And I think that's what God meant when he had all the days of our life ordained for us. Yeah, we're not going to have perfect bodies. We're going to do things ourselves to abuse them, or we're going to be ravaged by illnesses, like my granny who had MS. She needed a wheelchair. But we're going to have support. And the first support we have is from God, who loves us so much he wants to give us support. Our other support is from the people around us. In my case, the support is also from the NHS, who are providing these things I need. We forget we have support. So whatever your need is, whatever it is, get in touch with the people who give you support. First of all, that's God. It's God. Jesus came as the Son of God. He lived as a man. So he's a people, and he's a person we can still talk to. But get the support you need, because as we've all discovered, it's so, so important. Have a great week. God bless.